Many things about cities are very counterintuitive. For example, it seems to us that making bigger roads or flyovers or elevated highways will solve traffic jams. And clearly, it has never been the case, because what creates traffic is not the number of cars, but the number of trips and the length of trips. So the more road infrastructure you do, the traffic will become even worse. The only way to solve traffic jams is to restrict car use. And the most obvious way of restricting car use is restricting parking. People seem to imagine that parking is a right, almost a fundamental right, to be included in the United Nations Charter. In our Constitution, there are many rights. The right to housing, the right to education, the right to health, but I don't find the right to park. I don't see any constitution which includes the right to park. So if you ask me where you should park, the mayor can tell them. It's almost as if you ask me where you should put your food or your clothes. This is not a government problem. Before I was mayor, I have never been in a city which hated itself more than Bogota. There was a total lack of self-esteem and lack of hope. So when I was elected mayor, we started investing in people, in sidewalks, in parks, in great schools, in libraries. And also we created a bus-based public transport system. We copied a system from Curitiba, a small city in Brazil. We called it Transmilenio. We gave it a name because buses in most places have a stigma, a bad image of being for the poor, so we had to raise the bus status. Transmilenio bus system actually works much more like a subway on wheels than like a traditional bus. Buses go on exclusive lanes. People pay when they enter the station. When the buses arrive, the station doors open simultaneously with the bus doors. You can get 100 people out and 100 people into the bus in seconds. Many people save up to 2 hours a day, because before they had to be on traditional buses in the traffic jam, and now they can go from one extreme to the other very fast. For the same cost that we could do a 25-kilometer subway, we do 400 kilometers of Transmilenio. These systems are also more flexible. Younger cities don't have such a defined center, and the center is shifting. So if you put a hugely expensive infrastructure such as a subway line, then you may find that the new center in a matter of 20 or 30 years is somewhere else where the subway line doesn't go. This system is very powerful symbol of democracy. The first article in every constitution says that, the first article in every constitution says that all citizens are equal before the law. This is not just poetry. It means, for example, that a bus with 100 passengers has a right to 100 times more road space than a car with one. It's a democracy at war. You can really see that public good prevails over private interest. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
¿Cómo te va? Okay, here we are in part of the Porvenir Promenade. This is a 24-kilometer pedestrian and bicycle-only street which networks very low-income neighborhoods to the richest areas of the city. I think it's a revolution in the way urban life works. This kind of high-quality infrastructure for bicycles increases the social status of cyclists. Before we had bicycle ways, low-income people were ashamed of using bicycles. Now, a high-quality protected bicycle way shows that a citizen on a $30 bicycle is equally important to one on a $30,000 car. And here is something interesting. You can see how the pedestrian and bicycle has pavement, and the cars are in the mud. So it's a priority for the pedestrian and for the bicycles. And then later sometime we will pay for the cars. But first, the pedestrian. So this completely shows respect for human dignity, for everybody, not just for those who have cars, who normally think they are the important ones in developing country cities. Again, this is democracy at work. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo les va?